How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing good. I hope you're still smiling, those big, beautiful smiles that I love so much, and that I just am always thinking about when I'm reading these books to you guys. I'm always thinking about they're looking at this read aloud, they're smiling, those beautiful smiles that light up their eyes. And I hope that you're enjoying each book that Miss Wainwright is reading to you, because I certainly am enjoying reading these books each day. The other day we read a book called Someday a Tree by Eve Bunting, and she is one of my all-time favorite authors because she just writes those fabulous books that make us think about things in life and stuff. And we had, in my classroom, we had been talking a lot about books that have a message or a lesson, something that we can learn from the books that we read. And we learned that a lesson is it's like a complete sentence or a complete thought. It's maybe a couple of sentences, even a lesson that we can learn from books. And then there's the theme of books. Theme is one word, a big overall theme. And I wanted us to kind of revisit that today and practice thinking about the lesson and the theme of this book that I'm going to read today. And this book is called Fly Away Home. And of course, it's written by Eve Bunting, and it's illustrated by Ronald Himler. And he is also the illustrator that illustrated Someday a Tree, which looked, those really pretty watercolors. And in this book, the illustrations are a very important part of the book and understanding the book. So we're going to pay close attention to the illustrations. And the first one I wanted us to look at was just this cover photo. When we look at this cover and we look at the characters, what do you notice about the characters? I think some of you are saying they look tired, they look sad, they're just kind of sitting alone. Okay. We notice that about them, and that's kind of like a foreshadowing of this book, that it might not be one of those happy feel-good books. It might be a little bit sad, and the characters might be sad in this book, and that's okay, because sadness is a part of life. We're all going to have sad times in our lives, okay? So let's listen closely and see what you think the lesson and the theme of this book is. My dad and I live in an airport. That's because we don't have a home, and the airport is better than the streets. We are careful not to get caught. Here they are, standing in the airport. Mr. Slocum and Mr. Vale were caught last night. 10 green bottles hanging on the wall, they sang. They were as loud as two moose bellowing. Dad says they broke the first rule of living here. Don't get noticed. Dad and I try not to get noticed. We stay among the crowds. We change airlines. Delta, TWA, Northwest, we love them all, Dad says. He and I wear blue jeans and blue t-shirts and blue jackets. We each have a blue zippered bag with a change of blue clothes. Not to be noticed is to look like nobody at all. Once we saw a woman pushing a metal cart full of stuff. She wore a long, dirty coat, and she just laid down across a row of seats in front of Continental Gate 6. The cart, the dirty coat, the laying down were all noticeable. Security moved her out real fast. Bless it. Dad and I sleep sitting up. We use different airport areas. Where are we tonight? I ask. Dad checks his notebook. Alaska Air, he says, over in the other terminal. That's okay. We like to walk. We know some of the airport regulars by name and by sight. There's Idaho Joe and Annie Franny and Mars Man, but we don't sit together. Sitting together will get you noticed faster than anything, Dad says. Everything in the airport is on the move. Passengers, pilots, flight attendants, cleaners with their brooms, jets roar in close to the windows. Other jets roar out. Luggage bounces down chutes. Escalators glide up and down, disappearing under floors. Everyone's going somewhere, except Dad and me. We stay. Once, a little brown bird got into the main terminal and it couldn't get out. It fluttered in the high, hollow spaces. It threw itself at the glass. It fell panting on the floor. It flew to a tall metal girder and perched there, exhausted. Don't stop trying, I told it silently. Don't. You can get out. For days, the bird flew around, dragging one wing. And then it found the instant when a sliding door was open and slipped through. I watched it rise. Its wings seemed okay. Fly, bird, I whispered. Fly away home. Though I couldn't hear it, I knew it was singing. Nothing made me as happy as that bird. The airport's busy and noisy, even at night. Dad and I sleep anyway. When it gets quiet, between 2 and 4 a.m., we wake up. Dead time, Dad says. Almost no flights coming in or going out. At dead time, there aren't many people around, so we're extra careful. In the mornings, Dad and I wash up in one of the bathrooms, and he shaves. The bathrooms are crowded, no matter how early, and that's the way we like it. Strangers talking to strangers. Where'd you get in from? 3 hours our flight was delayed. Man, am I bushed. Dad and I, we don't talk to anyone. We buy donuts and milk for breakfast at one of the cafeterias, standing in line with our red trays. Sometimes Dad gets me a carton of juice. On the weekends, Dad takes the bus to work. He's a janitor in an office in the city. The bus fare's $1 each way. On those days, Mrs. Medina looks out for me. The Medinas live in the airport too. Grandma, Mrs. Medina, and Denny, who's my friend. He and I collect rented luggage carts that people have left outside, and we return them for 50 cents each. If the crowds are big and safe, we offer to carry bags. Get this one for you, lady. It looks heavy. Or, can I call you a cab? Denny's real good at calling cabs. That's because he's 7 already. Sometimes passengers don't tip. Then Denny whispers, stingy. But he doesn't whisper too loud. The Medinas understand that it's dangerous to be noticed. Here they are helping carry luggage and returning the luggage carts so they can get the 50 cents for the return fee. That's a really good idea, isn't it? When Dad comes home from work, he buys hamburgers for us and the Medinas. That's to pay them for watching out for me. If Denny and I've had a good day, we treat for pie. But I've stopped doing that. I save my money now in my shoe. Will we ever own our own apartment again? I asked Dad. I'd like it to be the way it was before Mom died. Maybe we will, he says, if I can find more work, if we can save some money. He rubs my head. It's nice right here, though, isn't it, Andrew? It's warm, it's safe, and the price is right. But I know he's trying all the time to find us a place. He takes newspapers from the trash baskets and makes pencil circles around letters and numbers. Then he goes to the phones. When he comes back, he looks sad and kind of angry. I know he's been calling about an apartment, and I know the rents are too high for us. I'm saving money too, I tell him, and I lift one foot and point to my shoe. Dad smiles. Atta boy. If we get a place, you and your dad can come live with us, Denny says. And if we get a place, you and your mom and your grandma can come live with us, I say. Yeah, we shake on it. That's going to be so great. After next summer, Dad says I have to start school. How? I ask. I don't know, but it's important and we'll work it out. Denny's mom says he can wait for a while, but Dad says I can't wait. Sometimes I watch people meeting people. We missed you. It's so good to be home. Sometimes I get mad and I want to run at them and push them and shout, why do you have homes when we don't? What makes you so special? But that would get us noticed, all right. Sometimes I just want to cry. I think Dad and I will be here forever. Then I remember the bird. It took a while, but a door opened, and when the bird left, when it flew free, I knew it was singing. I love this last page. I love that he's watching out the window and he's watching the plane fly away. And I love that when he was at his lowest, saddest, most frustrated moment, he thought back to something that made him feel better. I'm going to read it again because I really love this page. Then I remember the bird. It took a while, but a door opened. And when the bird left, when it flew free, I knew it was singing. I love that. He remembered the bird. And remembering the bird gave him hope and made him feel better. And the bird was a symbol, guys. Lots of times there's symbolism in stories and in books. And Eve Bunting used that bird who was struggling and trapped in the airport and didn't know how to get out. And then suddenly a door opened. I love that. And a lot of times in life, we're going to have problems. Maybe we're not homeless, but we might face other difficulties and other problems in life. And we have to look for the doors, the open doors. We have to look for those opportunities and those solutions to problems. And we just have to walk through those doors, guys. And I'm just thinking, and I know you're probably thinking too, that the overall theme of this book is absolutely hope. Never lose hope, no matter how sad or how difficult things get. Never lose hope. Always keep your hope and always look for a solution. And I think a lesson in this book is it's so very important to have relationships. It's so very important to have family and to have friends. Even though they were homeless and living in an airport, the Medinas were their friends. And he and Denny's relationship was such an important part of his life that probably brought him so much joy every day. And so I think that's a lesson for us that relationships are very important in life, and they can see us through some really difficult times. We can help each other out. Guys, I love you. I love you so much, and I miss you. I hope you enjoy this book, and I will see you next time. And I want you to think about what you think the lessons were. What spoke to you in this book? Talk to somebody about it today, guys. Share your thoughts. See you next time.